let's go ahead and get started. Again, if you didn't see the announcement, a confusing email went out earlier today, and so it's a chance that some people won't show up until 4:25. So I'm going to try to tap dance here the first 10 minutes so that we don't have to repeat too much. The first thing to mention, and I'm sorry if you're getting beat over the head about this, but a lot of people that are not currently users of TraderVision have been invited here today, and I don't know who's who. But the situation is, if you have not purchased TraderVision yet, today is your last day to avoid the $149 startup fee or setup fee. So until midnight, you can get it for $37, get you 2 months, 60 days. After midnight, add $149 to that. So if you're interested at all, today's the day to do it. Save yourself some money. With that said, let me a couple other things. Also, when you order, almost immediately, within a couple seconds of the order completing, you are sent an email. The subject line of that email is your hit and run candlesticks order of XYZ date is complete. That's the email you're looking for. A lot of people are reporting, about half the people are reporting that their spam filter grabs it. So look in your spam filter. If it's not in your spam filter, check your email provider's spam filter on the server side. Some email servers or email providers have a second spam filter that you don't even know about most of the time on their server. Let us know if you can't find it. I will send you the information and ask Rick to send you a copy, but I do know the emails are going out, and about half the people have no problem. Like I said, about half of them say their spam filter grabs it. We're working on it, but that's the way it is right now, so just please be aware of that and keep that in mind. That email, the order complete email, is the one you need. It has the download link, has your license number. But again, if you don't get that, if you can't find it, let us know. You can contact me at their support at tradervision2020.com or ed at tradervision2020.com. And I will look up the information for you, send you an email, and ask Rick to send another copy of the order complete email. Okay, with that said, let me do a quick overview of the, for the people who are not currently users. Then we'll get into the general workshop. So what I'm going to talk about very quickly is essentially why you want to consider TraderVision, what TraderVision can do for you, what the pieces of it are, and what's coming down the road. So all traders should be asking themselves these questions if you're going to be successful. Do you have good trading rules? Do you know what works for you? Do you know what doesn't work for you? And I'm talking about trade setups, trade rules, the process through which you trade. Actually, no, Philip, you can, or Philippe, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. You can adjust it yourself. At the top center of the screen, there are some blue corner pieces that form sort of a cross. Use that to resize the screen for yourself. That should work for you. So basically understanding that the process is the most important thing in trading. Individual trades are irrelevant. They are just steps along the path. What is important is that you build and continuously improve your trading process. You continuously analyze your results, and you figure out how to improve your trading rules, how to improve what only trade setups that are working for you, and get rid of the ones that don't. Then the last couple questions are, do you plan your trades? And if you don't, please stop. And whether you use Trader Vision or not, plan all of your trades. It is one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful way that I'm aware of to get your trading psychology in order. What it does is it allows you to have in your head already what are the possible scenarios that could happen with the price, and what will that mean to me if that does happen in terms of dollars and cents and percentages, and being forewarned about all those potential scenarios forearms you. You're not surprised. Your emotions are much more under control as the trade goes on. And that leads directly to the discipline, which is the last piece. Do you trade your plans? Do you maintain discipline and let a plan work? The only time that I ever change a plan after a trade has been entered, long or short, is if the overall market character drastically changes. So if we get a huge bearish day or a huge bullish day when I was expecting the opposite trend to continue, I might get rid of my I might get rid of my positions and rethink. But other than that, my plans stay in place and I trade my plans. I see some people are just coming in, and again, I apologize. An email went out today that was misleading. Part of it said 425, part of it said 415. And I apologize for that. We've tried to get our back-end process to get that fixed for the future, but unfortunately it happened today. This is being recorded and will be posted on the tutorials page, accessible from either within the app or through the in the app. It's the help tutorial videos link or menu option, and from the website it's under products, Trader Vision 2020 tutorials. I'll also post it to our YouTube channel, Trader Vision 2020 version 2 or V2. Sorry, I lost my own train of thought here, but essentially these are the questions you need to ask yourself, and they're all set around improving your trading process. And that's what Trader Vision was built to do. It was built to help you develop your trading process and your trading rules, improve the quality of the trades that you take, identify and eliminate trading problems that you have. And those problems might be either operational issues, like I chased on entries, or I set my stops too tight, or I abandon my plan and lose my discipline and get scared out of trades only to see them take off without me. Whatever those are, or they could be emotional issues. And so you need to get the problems under control, the emotions that are driving those problems under control, and that's what Trader Vision is about. The second part of it is that it tracks your performance and it automates the journaling process, all of which allows you to do more of what works and less of what doesn't. As of this moment, Trader Vision is made up of these, we call them widgets, but you can think of them as submodules. There's a tool that allows you to plan SMART goals: specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and timely. So long-term objectives, and break that down into per trade goals that gives you information that you can then validate trades against and use for planning of the trade. I've got a dashboard that shows you where you're at in your current trades, what your account situation is at the moment, and so forth. We've got charts, a charting package built in. It's rudimentary at this point, and I'll talk about that and what's coming and the improvements that we're going to work on there. You can have as many watch lists as you want and name them each whatever. So small cap, large cap, or utility industry, energy industry, or Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, however you want to break up watch lists. Skipping the next two, we have a performance tool that allows you to slice and dice all of your trade performance so that you can go back and look at what do I do on each specific pattern, each specific market condition, each specific signal, when I have whatever, when I chase trades, what is my performance when I chase trades versus when I don't? Those sorts of things. We have an account manager. Oh, by the way, that performance package includes a built-in tool. I'm going to describe it analogously. So if any of you have ever used Crystal Reports, it's a reporting package that allows you to design and build your own reports if you don't like the ones that are supplied out of the box. And then finally, there's an account manager that allows you to keep your TraderVision accounts, and you can have as many as you want, in sync with your brokerage accounts. So if the brokerage charges you a fee, or if you deposit additional money, or if you withdraw money, you can enter those transactions and keep the accounts in sync with each other. Moving back up then, we have a trade log, which is again the journaling portion where it logs every trade and all the details about every trade. And that's where you get into the trade, where you can see the specific details of each trade for validating, planning, and managing trades that you enter. Again, I'm just pointing this out because this is your last day. I don't want to hear tomorrow that you've, gee, I didn't get around to it, or I was on a trip, or whatever. That, I'm sorry, we've been saying this for a month now, but on March 1st, we're adding a $149 setup fee, so if you order before midnight, you'll save yourself that $149. It's a subscription, so if you decide, it's not for you, the $37 buys you 60 days the first time, and then after that, it's $37 a month. And again, it's a chance for you to make sure that it's the tool for you, learn how to use it, and get moving. In addition to these weekly workshops, which from now on we won't have this this overview pitch in it, but that's only part of what the support you're getting. You'll get emails every day initially, and then once every couple days, and once every 3 days, each with the tutorial type topic in them. So we're not going to leave you hanging. Okay, enough of the slides. Let's see if we can't do some actual work. This is TraderVision. I'm just going to buzz through the components again, and then we're going to get into actually planning some trades. So there's the goal tool I told you about, where you can set long-term account goals, break those down into actionable goals on a per trade basis, and give yourself something to manage to and analyze yourself against. This is the account manager, where again you can keep yourself in sync with your brokerage. You can see open trades. When we release the brokerage integration pieces, you would see your open orders. If you had any orders that had not yet been filled or canceled, you would see those sitting here as well. The dashboard, again, this is just where you can see what's going on with your account. Your open orders are listed down here. You can see the percentage of the account that's in cash, that's in long trades, or if you had short trades, in short trades. Each of the trades is broken out, and you can see, is it positive or is it negative, and what's the exact dollar amount that we're looking at. And then it's of course broken down here. You can look at your recent performance. It comes defaulting to 30 days, but you can change that to 1 day. You can change it to 360 days, whatever you want to look at. Double clicking on any of your trades, double clicking on any of these trades will open them up in the trade log that we'll get to in a minute. Sharon, to answer your question, which brokerages, Initially, we are going to, the first one will be TradeHawk Tradier, which is our preferred trading platform and brokerage partner. We get no money from them. There is no financial relationship, but they are very easy to work with, and we have a good relationship with them. We can call the CEO of the company, and he answers the phone for us. I can talk to their head technical guy, Costa, and we exchange emails and Skype and phone calls regularly. So we'll be integrating to them first. We will do Thinkorswim. Thinkorswim is going to be problematic. The bottom line is Thinkorswim is not the company it once was. Since TD Ameritrade, or since Toronto Dominion Bank has purchased them, their management is now run by bankers, and they try to run it like a bank. They are not adaptive. They are not in the support business of integrating with partners. So while their website might mention that they allow integration to other applications, that's not the case. That's just marketing talk. We've talked to them many times, phone calls, emails, etc., and they just do not follow through. They say, yeah, we want to integrate with you, but then that's it. They never give us access to their API. They never give us access to even documentation. Interactive Brokers is another that we'll implement, as well as Ally Invest, which is could be MB Trading. TradeStation said that they want to, after 2.5 years, they finally got back to us and said they are going to begin enabling integration this first quarter, but I have not heard from them since that email. So TradeStation is a possibility, but it really depends on them getting moving forward, and I don't know what the status of their work on their side is. NinjaTrader is something that has been suggested, but I have not followed through with them to see if we can do that. I know that they offer it, and so I don't suspect that will be a problem, but it's just not a high priority, because basically we're looking at which brokerages the current users use and focusing on those in that order. TC2000, yes, Philippe, it does come with a data feed, actually about 5 of them. And so we've got a real-time data daily feed. We've got a historical data feed that we actually bring on from our own server. We've got a data feed from an exchange that provides us with certain data fields, including next earnings date. And again, whenever we enable the brokerage integration, those will be an additional data source. I'm sorry, back to, yes, that is included in the $37 monthly subscription. No additional fee for data. The TC2000, have not explored it at all. I don't suspect. As I understand it, and I'm both a TC2000 customer and a Interactive Brokers customer. As I understand it, Warden originally bought a small brokerage so that they could offer brokerage services, but something happened along the way and they decided Interactive Brokers was a better way to go, and so they're now offering, they allow trading through their application, but I guess it's being executed by Interactive Brokers in the background. So I don't know the exact arrangement there. So if we can integrate to Interactive Brokers, and we can, then it should be able to do it through through TC2000. But I have not explored it, so I don't want to mislead you. I do not know that we can do that, but that's where we're at. Philippe, did you get your questions? The answer is yes, and I'm not going to give you a timetable. It's such a complicated project. I have done the design work on it, but we have not written a single line of code for it yet. So I do not want to mislead anybody. It's off in the future when options will be supported, because it's a completely different data structure. The calculations are all much more complex, as you can configure. Figuring out the Greeks is one thing, but that's relatively simple. But the Greeks for a directional trade are completely different calculations from the Greeks for an iron condor or a butterfly, or a straddle versus a strangle, and so forth. So not only is the profit and loss calculations different, but all of the Greeks for your overall Greek readings, etc., are different. It's a much more complex animal than trading stocks and ETFs. So I don't want to give anybody a timetable, because whatever timetable I give you is just a wild guess. So unfortunately, that's the answer I have to give. It's planned. I've done design work on it, but we have not started development. Let me just quickly continue on here, and then let's get into some trading or some trade planning. Charting, as I said, is we have a rudimentary package. It's in place. Your volume bars here at the bottom, green and red candles, and we will make a lot of improvements to it. We have a number of indicators that you can add, but not all of them by any stretch of the means. This is not a top tier charting package at this point. I'm just going to shoot you straight. I don't BS anybody. It is not now, but it will be. If you know me, you know I'm a pit bull, and I won't stop until it's done. That's just the end of the story. So this will be a top-notch package. My goal is to make TraderVision pretty much the only end-to-end tool you need, other than a brokerage account, so that you'll be able to do many different things, and I'll talk about that here in just a minute. You can have watch lists, again, as many watch lists as you want, and it gives you all sorts of data, the company's ticker and name, as well as their industry and sector, where they sit in their 52-week range, of course the daily gain and the volume and average volume. You can see the last 5 candles, all sorts of information, next earnings date, next ex-dividend date, and they're not all there. This is data we're getting from, one of the data feeds is from an exchange called IEX, small exchange. The only reason you would have heard of them is because they were the ones that broke the story about high-frequency traders co-locating their servers at the exchanges and paying for access to the data before anybody else can get to it. They were the ones that broke that story and built their exchange purposely to take away the advantage that high-speed algo traders have. But anyway, that's the data feed that we use for earnings date and dividends date. We will be augmenting that because they have we found that they've got some problems. For example, DY, you can see that the next earnings date they list is 8/30/17. Obviously, that's not the next one, that's a past one. And all you can do from that is try to extrapolate forward 6 months and say, when would their earnings be roughly. So that's what I said. We'll add another data source that will hopefully improve this information. Performance quickly just shows your performance in blue versus whatever you have decided to measure any specific account against. In this case, this account is measuring itself against the SPY. You can see the overall statistics, and then, as I said, there are a bunch of pre-canned reports that we provide you, but you can write your own reports if that's what you want to do. Let's get into the harder things. So this is trade log. It logs all of your trades, as one might expect from the name, whether they're planned, closed, or open, and gives you a snapshot of a bunch of information. But let's go ahead and plan a new trade. Does anybody have a ticker that they like? Well, actually, before I start this, you guys think about the ticker while I tell you what's coming down the pipe. Things that are under development now. We're building our own scanning package. And that scanning package will allow you, just like in TC2000 or Thinkorswim or any other platform that allows scanning, to use the pre-canned scans that we provide, or if you don't like them, write your own. So you'll have an interface where you can do that. We're going to be making some changes here to this section I call market conditions. We'll go through in a moment. But I think of those as your trading rules. This tells you what rules you have, and we're going to make it so that it's much more customizable, so you can set it up for your trading rules. What else have we got coming down the road? Of course, the integrations are coming soon. And, well, let's just leave it at that for now. One of the things I was just asked about today, so I will mention it as an existing feature, is that the tool automatically does daily backups to whatever location you specify. That can be on your computer or a cloud location. So you could specify your Google Drive or your Dropbox or your Microsoft OneDrive. I think Apple iCloud is another option for you. So you can store your backups off your computer, so if something happens to your computer, you still have access to your data. Sure. You can adjust it to black or white, and that's another thing that is coming. This is no style applied at all. There is a copper style light, which is a variation of that dark theme, but only in light. It's more of the Mac-centric controls with the dots. But the one that I like, well, I've been told to like, because most people like to show that, is this dark color. Can I show the backup? Yeah, this is where you specify your backup and how many copies you want to save. So it comes set to default to keep 30 days worth of backups. So it does a daily automated backup to that location that you specify, and it can be on your computer, it can be a OneDrive, it can be a Google Drive, whatever. And then on the 31st day, the way I have it set, it would overwrite the oldest one. And if I wanted to, for some reason, do a manual backup, you can do that as well. Manual database backup, click it and it will launch. It only takes a moment. In fact, I'll just do it here. That's where I want to save it. It started the process and it's done. Okay, so let me make this larger. And can everybody read that, or do you need me to increase the size? How did I pull up the backup box? Well, there's tools. If you're talking about where the manual backups are stored, it's tools, options, backup. That's where you specify the location and the number of copies. If you're talking about how did I launch the backup manually, it's under File, Manual Database Backup. Okay, so we're good with the size. I don't need to increase it. Excellent. So somebody said MU was the first ticker they wanted to look at. Let's pull that ticker up just to see what we've got. Get rid of this. I just want to come up with some sort of indicators that we can use for coming up with a plan. So here's a couple levels. I'm probably going to have to set fibs here, I don't think. Let's go out to weekly. Yeah, we're at all-time highs. So let's set up our fibs off of this weekly. And I go back to daily. So there's the fibs we're looking at. I would personally be looking for a buy on a breakout and retest. In other words, we've had such a run here. I want to see it break out. I want to see it pull back and retest to prove that this level is now support. And then I'm going to set my stop in here fairly tight below. I'm going to put my first target up here. Well, let's see, we did a 38.2. I'm going to put my first target up here at the 23.6 and my second target up here at 61.8. Let's just say that that is good enough. So I'm going to have an entry about 50.35. I'm going to have my stop about 49 bucks. Just a second here. I'm going to have my first target up here at, let's call it 55.30. And my second target up here at 64 bucks. So what's that look like for us? Let's first put in the ticker MU. We see the last 6 candles here. It does not look like I have earnings data on this yet, so I would have to look that up. What does it tell me about the market conditions? Well, the market has been trending up in the long term, which for this account is set up to be a 50-day, is considered to be a long-term trend. So that 50-day trend is trending up, and the 5-day trend is trending up as well. For this particular symbol, the 50-day has been trending down. We've been in that pullback, but the 5-day has been trending up. We've got the T line above the 34 EMA. That's a bullish indication. We've got tons of liquidity. It trades about $2 billion worth of stock a day. You can see the candles. We have no candle signal per se. I don't bother telling you that it's a doji. But we've got several bullish patterns underway here. So let's plan out that trade. I think I said 55.35 or 50.35 and a $49 stop and 55.30 and 64 bucks. Okay, so it tells me I can buy 91 shares and stay below $125 risk. If I were to enter at 50.35 and be stopped out at 49 and still keep a less than $125 loss, I can buy 90 shares. That's going to be too big because I know this is a small count for demo. So just bear with me on the, let's do 40 shares. That may be too much here, but let's just do it. So 40 shares is a little less than 4% of this account. If I buy 40 shares, I'm risking 54 bucks if I'm stopped out. If I buy 40 shares at that 50.35. If I sold half the position at that first target, I'm getting 3.6 to 1 on my reward to risk ratio. And if I sell the other 20 shares at that second target, it's telling me that I'm actually getting overall about almost 7 to 1, 6.83 to 1. So I'm risking 54 bucks if I'm stopped out to make 371 bucks if I hit both targets. So now we have to make a decision. I've got 5 bullish indicators against market conditions, or in other words, I consider this my trading rules. I've got 1 bearish potential condition. Actually, it looks like they reported on 9/26, so that's 12/26, 3/26. So probably the end of March is when they're reporting after market close. They are to some extent now. So right now what you can do is you can change these top 4. the top two in each column. You can specify what do you consider to be a long-term trend. So for your long-term account, maybe the long-term trend is 200 days. For a short-term account or for a swing trading account, maybe it's 50 days. And for a day trading account or shorter term swing trading, maybe you consider the long-term trend to be 20 days. The short term you can also specify to be, I don't know, for a long-term account, maybe that's a 20-day trend. For a short or swing trading account, maybe it's 5 days, and for a very short-term swing trading account, maybe it's a 3-day trend, 2-day trend, whatever. We will change this, and this is one of the things that's under development now, to make this much more customizable to your requirements, specifying not only the time length of the trend, but the trend type, simple or exponential, specifying what moving averages are important to you, specifying a number of different things. But that is not in place at this very moment, so I don't want to mislead you. But you can see how this trades out now. I have all the information I need. If I decide I want to capture a screenshot, I can do that as well. In fact, let's just do that. Let's go back here and just look at this TC2000 chart, and let's say I want to draw the chart here. Let's take a picture of it. Okay, I've taken a picture. Let me save that picture. File. MU as of 2/28 or 2-28/18. Okay, back to TradeVision. So now I want to attach that image. I go in here to Documents, MU as of 2/28, and now I've attached that image to my trade record. I can attach as many pictures as I want, or other files. If they release some sort of PDF you want to attach, or an Excel spreadsheet, or any type of file, you can do that. You can record notes about what you do. When you move these trades to execution, it will start automatically taking note of your adjustments. So if you keep changing your stop, moving your stop up as a long trade goes, or moving your stop down as a short trade progresses, it will record that for you, so that you can come back and say, look at this trade a year from now. What did I do? Well, I adjusted my stop 3 times. Well, whatever. This is what the chart looked like when I entered. This is what the chart looked like when I got out of the trade. Allows you to get back inside of your own head, sometime after you've already forgotten that trade. And then the last thing that is very important is you grade each trade. Again, so that you can look at your performance under different conditions. You grade your discipline. You list the mistakes you made. You can add in whatever mistakes you want to add. And then you look at your emotions at time of entry, during the trade, and at the time of exit. And you basically record what were your emotions at those point in times. Learning yourself, starting to focus on what you're thinking, what you're feeling when you're actually trying to trade, and then looking at it and saying, gee, when I'm greedy at entry, I do poorly, or when I'm chasing a trade, I do poorly, and working to eliminate that. That's what TradeVision is all about: learning yourself, improving your process, and improving your performance. So let's save this one and do another. Well, it's already saved. Let's just close it. It automatically saves as you enter it. Well, at the moment, as I said, our charting package is not where I want it to be. But in version 1, which was developed in a different language, is in a completely different animal. Yeah, we had chart-based trading. So if you specified a trade on the chart, you could click a button and it would automatically fill in. And we will get there. But in version 2, that's not released yet. That's not developed and released. So that is where it will go. Let's look at that. And that's, for those of you who wonder why I'm going back and forth to TC2000, it's because I'm just much more comfortable. This is what I use right now. I'm not comfortable with the quality of our charting widget yet. It's going to get there. I will drive the development to get there, but it's not there now, and so I'm not going to kid you about it. Right now I'm not using the charting portion of the package. Let's see, what was some of the others. Somebody wanted to look at USFD. Never heard of that. Do they have any volume? Well, let's just say that we like this. You can see how it ran right up into that 38.2 fib, and that has been kind of resistance level up in there someplace. You know, you might say it's a little before or a little after, but let's just say it's right in there. Look at a weekly chart. Now it's a newer issue, so I'm probably going to have another target up here around 61.8, and well, let's not even do the black line. So I'm going to set an entry after we, damn, I grabbed the wrong one. Again, I'm going to set an entry after we prove that we've broken out of this. If we form a long enough consolidation, I'll buy the breakout, but typically I'm going to see it close above and retest, and then buy the bounce. I'm going to put my stop tight below this consolidation. Let's say there and there are my targets. So I'm looking at an entry of about, well, let's call it 34 bucks to be round things down. Let's make it 35.20, 37.50, and my stop down here about 33 bucks. So let's plan that out. Okay, we have a decent set of market conditions. Again, the markets are both bullish, long and short term, according to this 50-day and 5-day. The symbol itself is bullish in the long and short term, 50-day and 5-day. The moving average is lined up correctly for us. It trades about $104 million worth of stock a day, so we can probably slip in and out of that. And we've got no candle signals, but we do have some bullish patterns underway, but we also maybe have some questionable patterns. We're up against resistance as well. Let's look at a two target entry here. What did they say? 34. $34 entry, $33 stop, 35.20 is my first target, and 37.50 is my second target. It says I can buy 125 shares because I'm risking $1 between 34 and 33. but I know that's way too much. Again, let's look at about 40 shares for this small account. Oh yeah, that's only 2.6%. Let's bump it up to 50 shares. That's 3.25% and only risking 50 bucks. Certainly can do that. $25 or 25 shares at the first target, 25 shares at the second target. The first target only gives me 1.2 to 1, so I'm probably going to pass on this trade if I think that first target is realistic. If I can make it to the second target, I'm getting a little over 2 to 1, 2.35 to 1. So if I could make it to that second target, I might consider it. However, the downside is this tells me even if I hit both those targets under this plan, I'm only making $117.50. My per trade goal is $250 for this account. So if I don't have a plan that's able to make me $250, I'm going to pass. So if that first target is reasonable, I'm not interested in the trade. Let's see what happens if I sold all 50 shares at that second target. I'm still only making 175 bucks. Yeah, that's 10%, but I'm only making 175 bucks with a reasonable position size. So I'm going to have to pass on this trade. It did report earnings here on February 15th, so before the open. So we've got basically 3 months, just under 3 months, 2.5 months till they report again. So, you know, market conditions look good. It's not profitable enough with a small enough position size for this particular account that I'm working out of. If I had a $100,000 account set up here instead of, I think this is 40 or 50,000 that this was set up as. So if I had a $100,000 account that I was working out of, I probably could make more than that 250, and it would be a trade that's viable. Again, this is part of validating the trade, then planning it out so that you can make your goal and get it off the table as quickly as possible. So that's what Trader Vision is all about. Do you guys have any other questions before I look at continuing anything else here? I see a couple people typing, so I'm going to hang on. While you do that, let me close this and open a new trade. ADSK. Let's look at this. Autodesk. Boy, this may be a long question. Okay, let's get rid of that. This is one I personally would not trade. It had too much of a pullback on this last pullback, and now we're up against considerable resistance again. That has been resistance over time. No, Rob, I don't think it is. I can find trades, and I found a lot of them, that work with that number for even planning them out. But there are some that you have to pass on. There's no question about it. It's the same thing with requiring validation against the market conditions or your trading rules. I find a lot of charts that I might like that don't stack up. This one's telling me I got 5 bullish conditions and 1 bearish conditions. Sometimes it's 3 and 2, or 3 and 4, something like that, and that just means I need to walk away. It doesn't meet my trading rules as I look at it deeper. It doesn't validate, or I can't make my goal, or the risk is too much overall, or the reward is too small overall against my goal, or the ratio of those two is not at least 2 to 1. I make the market do everything for me. It has to come to me completely. I'm not interested in chasing. I'm not interested in bending myself to a market situation. Doing so is a bad mistake. Make the market come to you. Yeah, I can find enough trades to do that. And again, I'm not. I think for this particular account, it's set up to. Yeah, it's only doing basically 2 trades a week. Yeah, for I'm not going to plan goals for you today, Stan. I don't really have time to do that. But if obviously the smaller your account size, the less dollars you can make in a month, which means the smaller percentage you can make in a month, and therefore on a per trade basis, you'll have smaller wins. But I do know of people that are using this that started with like a $10,000 account, and the principle is the same, just the numbers are different. And don't get stuck with the numbers that I have in here. As I said, I planned out the goals. They are realistic and they're reasonable for this account size. In this case, I'm making 1% a month. 1.16% per month is what I'm looking to make. And I'm looking to make it doing only 8 trades. And I want to try to keep to 3% of the account size per trade. Now this count is up to 52,250 now. So I can do that. And if I average out my wins and losses, I put in a 60% winning percentage, but you can see that I have won so far about 67%, 66.67%. So I can do this, make this goal if I average across both wins and losses 6.38%, per trade on average. And I do that by keeping my average win at 250 or higher and my average loss on 125 or less. So those give me goals that I can, or give me tools that I can use to manage and validate trades. If if I'm going to have to risk more than 125 bucks, I don't really want to take that trade because it puts me at risk against my goals. If I can't make $250 per trade, I don't want that trade because it puts me at risk for making my goals. If I don't have a good enough risk reward, again, make the market come to you. So if you don't have that, have enough reward, or you don't have small enough risk, or you don't have a good enough ratio of reward to risk, all those things mean pass. Likewise, if I don't have the trading rules that I want, I pass. It's just what you have to do. You don't make your money trading by trying to outguess the market. You make your money by you make your money by being consistently winning, and the way you do that is you only hit your pitch. You make them pitch to you, and if they don't pitch to you, you don't swing. Okay, so that's what this looks like. Again, as I said, I probably would not trade this. The pullback was too far on the last run up, but let's, for whatever reason, let's say that you decide you did like it, and you're going to put in another target up here. Let's just say in there, and you got one in here, and you've got, you've got your entry in here with your stop down in there, which is about right. So that tells me we've got a 116.85 stop. I've got a 120.25 entry. I've got a 129 first target and a 135.25 second target. Let's see what that looks like. I'm pretty sure it's not going to work, but let's try it. 120.25. First target was 129. Second target was 135.25, and my stop was 116.85. Again, with this account size, I can only buy 36 shares to stay below $125 risk. So for this account, I started off. Yeah, I will post that here in just a second, Gordon. I'm sorry about the email, or maybe you just got in just now, but let's, just for argument's sake, say that I bought the 30 shares. That's going to be way too much, and again, it says that's almost 7% of this small account. But let's, for argument's sake, let's just say we do it. At our first target there, we're getting about almost 2.6 to 1, but we've only made 80 bucks. And at our second target, we're getting 3.5 to 1. And we are able to make our goal. So this is only a valid trade if we think we're darn sure to make that second target where we can at least clear our goal. And even so, you got to trade huge in order to make that goal. 7% of your account per trade is way too heavy, and that's why it's warning you with the red line. But under this situation, you're risking 102 bucks to make 356 bucks if you hit both targets. So let's give you those links that I posted earlier. This one explains the product a little bit and the pricing deal, and this is the order page, which also has a little bit of information on it. Again, the pricing goes up at midnight, so you want to order before then if you are thinking about buying. Save yourself 149 bucks. So $37 for 60 days, and after that it's $37 per month. During that time, you'll get emails initially every day, and then every couple days, and every 3 days, so forth. And each of those emails will have a link to the tutorial video and cover a topic. If you wanted to skip ahead, you could always, within the application, up here at the top, you click Help, Tutorial Videos, and that will open up the entire list of videos. I've got 20 or so there now. And I create them, well, this one will go there. I'm recording this session and it will go there later tonight. Okay guys, we've been here about an hour and you've seen how we plan out trades. If you've got questions, please ask them. I want to open this up to you and your questions. I've already run a little bit long, and I apologize again. That email went out and I had to recover some stuff. Thanks, Jim. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm biased, but I like it. No, there's no code needed. In fact, let me go to that page. this is a subscription page. You know, trust me, you buy one, you get 1 month free. So you're getting 60 days for the initial $37. But after that, it's $37 per month. And I promise you that's the way that it is. And again, it's a subscription, so you know, all I can tell you is you need to trust me. I'm not leading you astray, I promise. And you can reach me anytime you want. I hope I typed that right. I'm a terrible speller, or a terrible typist. Trader Vision will link to, at this moment, I have not released any of the integrations. Okay? It will link to Tradier, and if you've never heard of them, they are our preferred brokerage. They're a new broker. They're hungry. They work with people. They are 1/3 owned by Fidelity, so they've got backing. They're going nowhere. So Tradier through TradeHawk, which is an execution software platform, but you will also be able to launch trades directly from Trader Vision. If you, let's just move this to execution. Let's say I was considering executing this order, so I moved that plan down to execution. If I click that place order, when you have integration set up, it will pop up an order ticket for you. At the moment, there is not. If you're talking about Trader Vision, Dick, there is not a setup charge. After midnight, there is a $149 setup charge. That's why I'm suggesting, if you're interested, you probably ought to, you know, get in today. That's basically, you're risking $37 for 60 days to look at it, and if you decide to cancel, cancel. But if you wait till tomorrow, then it's $149 plus $37 for that 60 days. How do you set it up? There are videos that cover that specifically, but basically, you go into Account Manager, click the gear, click Accounts, and add a new account. So there's a new button. When you click Add a New Account, you give it a name. You specify what is the long-term trend period, what is the short-term trend period, what ETF or index do you want to compare it to, what the opening balance is, whether or not you want to have a warning on upcoming earnings, and if so, how many days in advance do you want to be warned. You set up your commissions, your shorting costs, and what the default values for trade plans will be, you know, whether it's long or short, what your, you know, maximum dollar risk will be, and so forth and so on. It will do both, RW. We will link through TradeHawk to Tradier and directly to Tradier. So for some people, actually, there have been people who said, I don't want to use TradeHawk, but I want to use Tradier, and you know, so we can do that as well. So it'll link both ways. So that's how you set up your account. I'm sorry, I'm jumping back and forth between questions here. The other thing you set up is Tools Options, and that will you know, you set your color, you set the scaling size. So if you wanted it very large, you can make it very large. If you wanted it small, you could do that as well. You know, you pick what is right for you. You can set the alert sounds for entries, the alert sounds for exits, and the alert sounds for stops. There will be some more alerts coming, like that warning for next earnings release date, and some other things. You set up the planning and execution setup, which I really can't get into right now, but there's 3 different ways you can tell us to recommend how many shares for you to buy based on the maximum dollar loss if you're stopped out, based on total dollars for position, or based on volatility, based on the average true range. And then for calculating risk reward, how many exits do you want to consider? Do you want to look at the risk reward to the first exit, to all the exits, to the 5th exit, whatever you want to set that to, where to back it up to, and then the rest of the tabs are about integration. So I know that was way too fast and it didn't help you a lot, but I really can't cover setup right here. But you will get emails with links to the videos, or you can click on help tutorial videos, and there are videos on how to set it up. The menu only appears in the primary window. Yeah, the main window. That is true, and that was sort of by design, Don. I understand what you're saying. I can look at us doing that. There is some background reason why we did that way for now. But I'm making a note about that, and I will discuss it. Menu on extended windows. Yes, Dan, that's kind of the idea. Is Trader Vision is meant to help you develop and control your process. And as I said earlier, forewarned is forearmed. If you know what the scenarios are, you're much more likely to maintain discipline, much less likely to be emotionally run through the ringer or in a roller coaster or whatever. At the bottom line is, plan your trades and trade your plans. And that's kind of what Trader Vision helps you do, among other things. RW, I hope I answered your question. So we will link to TradeHawk. And then, of course, we will link to Tradier as well, because I've had some people ask for that as well. So, again, it'll be your choice. Okay, guys, if there are no other questions, I will hang around, but it doesn't look like a lot of people are typing. So if there are other questions, please ask them. If they're not, I'll save this recording, get it rendered tonight and posted. I'm pretty good about that because I'm up all night working with my programmer, so I can let it render in the background. Okay, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Every Wednesday, right here, 4:15 Eastern. You bring your questions. Of course, you can always email me, and I will get back to you just as soon as I possibly can. And from the menu, of course, if you don't want to look up the email, just hit Help Support Ticket, and that will allow you to send us basically an email, but a support ticket that we'll get. Thanks, Doug. Appreciate it. And thank you, Richard. Rob, RW, all of you, Don. Thanks, everybody. Okay, let me cancel or stop the recording.